The Zammit House is an enormous residence which is still dwarfed by the 20,000 square meters of land that it is surrounded by. Because the property is so big and the house is set back so far, it's about 5 blocks for me to walk to the house, so that's what I'm doing now. There's a little bit of shade, but honestly it doesn't make too much of a difference. It is 41 degrees as I'm recording this, and you really feel every single one of those 41 degrees. Australia's population has been growing at a huge rate due to immigration that had been held back for years during the pandemic. Suburbs like the Ponds and North Kellyville have been growing for years, with a combination of white grout, bricks, and dark homogeneous roofs. However boring these places may seem to the outsider, these places have been flocked to by people looking to buy a house and build wealth in a traditionally solid housing market. And with movies like The Castle, people love going up against the big developers, an Aussie battler, just trying to get their slice of the Australian dream. The Zammits are not strugglers by any stretch of the imagination, but they are going up against the developers who have transformed this part of the town. Given the average 300 to 400 square meter block in this area, that's around 50 plus homes, or around 200 plus people who will have to go looking elsewhere. $50 million is the amount that the Zammits are being offered for their land. Is $50 million the right amount of money to house 200 people over a 90-minute commute from the city? It is a staggering amount when you look at the houses in this area. Pressure has ramped up on them to leave, as the suburb seems about half finished until that point. 2 hectares is a lot of land, but it does bring into question the sort of housing that has been built here, and the dollar amount that this land should cost in an area that is so far northwest of the Sydney with such juvenile infrastructure. Everyone deserves their own place to live, but is holding up a developer and all of the people in the area who wish to move in the right choice. The difference in density between one family living on 2 acres and the people surrounding it in suburbia is about the same difference between single-family homing and the density of an apartment block. So just like high-rise apartments being built at the nearby Tallawong station, high-rise apartments being built along public transport corridors are the solution to the problem. The Zammit House is not the problem. However, they should consider planting some native plants and trees, because that amount of grass should be reserved for a cricket oval. And single-family housing on blocks like this is not the solution either. Every time I drive or I walk around one of these concrete-filled extravaganzas, I just keep thinking that there's got to be a better way. This street, Corners Crescent, is chopped in half by the property. Living in the Ponds does have its benefits. For example, it would be a great place to go into witness protection. After I recorded that last clip, my phone literally stopped working and said, "I'm too hot, I have to cool down." It's no joke. As I sit here slowly passing away from heat exhaustion in my car, I just want to summarize by saying this, is that everywhere around me in this concrete jungle, I see developers who are preying on new Australians who are mortgaging their lives away in order to afford a very small amount of land in a very expensive country. The Zammit House is an antithesis to that, where they are happy with what they have and they don't care how much money that someone offers them. They just have the principles to keep what they have. That's why I think I like the Zammit House. Physically, I don't like the house. I don't think it looks very nice, but I like the principles that they stand behind. I'm sure as this video comes out, there'll be some sort of change and the gates will go up and the house will come down, but I appreciate them holding on for as long as they did or have. Thank you for listening. I will now be passing away. It is 41 degrees at least in my car, and I've lived long enough. Goodbye.